welcome back to Joseph Nelson Jewelry, where we are giving away the secrets of buying jewelry. I am Mark Crawford. I am the owner of Joseph Nelson Jewelry. And today we're going to get into a super controversial topic. I wouldn't say controversial. I would just say one of the biggest game changer in the jewelry business today. And that's talking about lab grown diamonds. And so, personally, I am a fan of lab grown diamonds. I am a fan of natural diamonds. I'm a fan of natural color. As someone who's been in the jewelry business for a long time, and what my customers are going to give you feedback, what you'll see when you check our comments, some jewelers have an agenda of what they sell, and we're going to get more into that. Maybe you saw on our last video when we were talking about comparing hidden halo rings. You start to see that there's a little bit of an agenda for price as how things are made and how things are created. But, for me and for my company, what we're most interested in is we're trying to make the most beautiful piece. And we're trying to sell the most beautiful diamond. And we're trying to sell the most beautiful piece of jewelry for whatever price you want to pay. And so, basically, I mean, you can call that a guarantee from me, right now, that if you buy jewelry from Joseph Nelson Jewelry, no matter how much money you're going to pay, it's going to be the most beautiful piece for that amount of money that you spend. And so with that being said, there's a lot of things that people don't understand as far as how much gold costs or how much silver costs or how much work labor costs. There's huge differences. So, it's like, if you want to buy a $500 gift, probably not going to be the one that's going to be able to help you out with that. However, we are going to do a video on where you should buy a gift if you want to spend $500. That's coming up very soon. So today we want to get into lab-grown diamonds, but we want to clean up the mess of lab-grown diamonds. I was scrolling on YouTube and I was looking at all of the different videos about lab-grown diamonds, CVD diamonds, HPHT diamonds, and it's just so much opinion and so much just nonsense, again, bias towards whatever you sell or whatever you don't sell. There's a prominent jeweler in California that only sells CVD diamonds because they just believe CVD is better. Me personally, I think CVD diamonds could be better, but there are advantages to both stones, that's for sure. But what I want to get into a little bit is I'm going to take you directly to what GIA says. GIA, the Gemological Institute of America, and explain what they say about lab-grown diamonds, because there's just a lot of things that come up in conversation, and the information is right there at the tip of your finger, and I'm going to walk through it or breeze through it with you, and I'm going to help point out some of the major things that when you go and talk with people, so when you sit with someone who's selling you lab-grown diamonds, when they say something or you hear something, you'll know, oh, wow, they really don't know what they're talking about, or they're selling based off their opinion. And so we're going to get into that today. So let me get my computer set up here. We're going to sign off for a minute, and then we're going to get you all set up, and then I'll join you guys again with a close.
Okay, so here we are on GIA's website, and this is an article from Dr. James E. Shingley talking about HPHT and CVD diamond, the growth process, and the making of lab-grown diamonds. So, number one thing, lab-grown diamonds, they are not new to the industry. They've been trying to grow lab-grown diamonds for over the last 30 years. And there have been a lot of different processes that they've tried to grow them. One thing that is true about lab-grown diamonds is that they are real diamonds. They are not imitations, or they're not simulants like cubic zirconia or moissanite. Those two things look like diamond, but they are very different chemically than diamond. They're very different optically than diamond, and they are not diamond. And so one of the few things I just want to clear up is that, people say that you cannot tell the difference between natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds. That is kind of true. That is not 100% true. There are gemologists that can see the difference between CVD and HPHT grown and treated diamonds just by using standard gem testing equipment. And so we'll read about a little bit as to what happens, but there's things that come up as far as magnetized, and also two colors that show in some lab-grown diamonds how they're grown, that they're not all 100% indistinguishable from natural diamonds. Some are and some are not. Hence why you have some cheaper stones and some more expensive stones. So this is an example here, which we'll also get into. This is an example of the shape. It's an octahedron, 8-sided shape. This is what a natural diamond looks like. So here you have images of real natural diamonds on the page. And so GIA is basically, for me, they're the forefront of the industry when it comes to education, when it comes to grading, and when it comes to getting your information. So you want to go and you want to listen and you want to learn. The number one place I would say to go is here on GIA's website. So basically, high pressure, high temperature HPHT diamond. This diamond growth process subjects carbon to extreme temperatures and pressures and is meant to replicate the extreme heat and pressure conditions deep within the earth where natural diamonds form. Diamond seed is placed in a specifically designed press. The growth chamber is heated to 1300 to 1600 degrees Celsius with pressures above 870,000 pounds per square inch. The molten metal dissolves the high purity carbon source. Carbon atoms participate on a small diamond seed or crystal, and the synthetic diamond begins to grow. The lab-grown crystal is then cut and polished by a diamond cutter. So that is one of the main things. Because of the way that this process is grown, which we'll see later on, but it says here within the capsule, the carbon starting material, such as graphite, dissolves in a molten flux consisting of metals such as iron, nickel, or cobalt. Now those iron, nickel, or cobalt sometimes can get trapped inside of an HPHT stone, and then their inclusions, they would become magnetic. So that is one thing that definitely is different between HPHT and CVD. Through that process, some of the inclusions can be magnetic. So again, when someone says, oh, you cannot tell the difference between natural and lab grown, well, some of the HPHT stones, the inclusions are magnetic. So you put a magnet on it and you'll be able to tell that it is a lab grown diamond and not a natural diamond. So As you see here, the shape of an HPHT crystal is a little bit different than the shape of your natural diamond. It has characteristics that are similar, but the graining is a little bit different. And so the way that they're cut, or the way that you're going to cut stones out of it, is very different. It has a combination of cubic and octahedral faces. And so that makes a difference in how some of the stones that they decide to cut from it, how they look, whether the graining is right or the look of the stone is right. So moving on, CVD. CVD stands for chemical vapor deposition and is another method used for making diamonds in a lab. Basically, diamond seed crystals are placed in a diamond growth chamber. The chamber is filled with carbon containing gas. The chamber is heated to about 900 to 1200 degrees Celsius. A microwave beam causes carbon to precipitate out of a plasma cloud and a deposit onto a seed crystal. Diamonds are removed every few days to have the top surface polished to remove any non-diamond carbon before being put back in to grow. Each batch of diamonds may require several start or stop cycles, and the entire growth process can take 3 or 4 weeks. After the synthetic diamond crystals are removed, then they are ready to be cut and polished into the final product. And so, subtle differences there. Basically, one of the things that you'll read about here through the CVD process, because of how they're grown, and it's taken a long time for this process, they can display a brown color. That brown color can be removed by heat treatment prior to faceting. So most CVD grown colorless material on the market were probably once brown crystals that have been decolorized by HPHT annealing. So what that means is, when you look at a lab-grown diamond, if your lab-grown diamond, your certificate will tell you if it is a CVD diamond, or it will tell you if it is an HPHT diamond. And so if you have a CVD made diamond, and that CVD diamond was color enhanced through the HPHT process, that is something that could happen and would be stated on a GIA certificate. Also on an IGI certificate, it would state the same. It is possible to have a CVD diamond that the color comes out perfect. And I can tell you that it's very hard to find, and they are out there, and they do cost more money. And so there are a lot of things that, again, it'll tell you on your certificate, this is a CVD grown diamond that has been treated with HPHT to increase the color. That is stated on the certificate. So, CVD diamond, HPHT diamond. CVD diamond grows into this cube. So you see here, CVD rough stone grows into this cube shape, and this HPHT grows into this cubic and octahedral shape together, and then the natural diamond grows into this 8-sided octahedron. And so there are some shapes that have been very pushed lately because they're easier to cut from some of these CVD rough stones. CVD rough stones, because they tend to be a little bit more in a cubic shape, you may have seen a big push for emerald cuts or radiant cut diamonds. Radiant cut diamonds are starting to catch up or take over oval shaped diamonds, and that generally happens because of the fact that every shape goes through cycles, But now, when you look at this rough stone, this natural diamond, normally you cut 2 diamonds face to face. You want to cut 1 diamond here and cut it. So this would be the top of the diamond, this would be the bottom, and then the top of another diamond here, and the bottom of it here. Easier to do with rounds and squares. The shape is easier. So if you've ever looked for a natural stone, and you look for a natural radiant cut, and you're looking for a big diamond, 4 or 5 carat, there just aren't as many amazing radiant cuts available because of the way that the rough stone grows. So there are many ways that they can tell the difference between these stones, as far as how GIA scientists can tell them apart. That's not going to get into that too much, but there are certain things that do change as far as how that they are grown. And one thing that happens is that HPHT diamonds, as I was saying, they can contain metal flux inclusions because of the way that they're grown. And that sometimes can enter the diamond crystal, and that can, as it says here, elements as iron, nickel, and cobalt, and that can make the stone magnetic. Whereas in a CVD grown synthetic diamonds do not have metallic inclusions. So they're different how the inclusions are. One of the big things 6-7 years ago, not every HPHT diamond would test as a diamond because some of these magnets got in the way. And so now the testers are a little bit better, so your lab growns do test. But there are some differences there. CVD diamonds, they do not have metallic luster, the inclusions. So some people say they like CVD better for one reason. Some will say they don't for another reason. For me, I think the fact that they both start as a diamond seed, I do think that CVD diamonds tend to be a little bit nicer just because of the shape of how they are grown and the graining and how they are cut. So each process is a little bit different when it goes to cutting the stones. We'll show you a different page as far as how that goes, but just so you know, you have the facts there. Basic differences in how they're grown. Some HPHD have metallic pieces, so they can be magnetic. You see the difference in the shape, which leads to cutting of different shapes because of the shape of the rough stone. Usually they'll say that there's no fluorescence in lab-grown diamonds. That's not true. You will find that out as the color lab-grown diamonds happen. And the last thing that I was going to share about here is that one of the things you see in HPHT colored synthetic diamonds, they can often display a geometric color zoning, such as nitrogen concentrate in the crystal as it forms. Natural diamonds will occasionally display color zoning, but their color zoning will not have geometric patterns like HPHT synthetic diamonds. CVD grown diamonds, on the other hand, usually have even coloration. This is why sometimes when you buy a diamond and it's HPHT, it may have a little bit of a greenish, brownish, yellowish tinge to the stone, or it may have a little too much reddish color in the stone. That generally happens in HPHT diamonds only. That's just the growth process, how it happens. But when you guys look online, you'll be able to know why stones are cheaper than other stones. So that's just a brief information. CVD versus HPHT. I can get more involved, and we'll talk more about a few different websites. But I would strongly recommend that you go to GIA's website when you have questions. GIA loads up with information, and they have tons of information out there so that you can get the accurate information. Don't go to your jeweler. You go to jewelers, they want to sell what they want to sell, okay? Find a private jeweler, go to josephnelson.com, make an appointment with me. We can come in and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. And if I don't know the answer, we'll look it up. But I hope you enjoyed the video. And lab grown diamonds, they are amazing, simply amazing. And we'll get back on to our next video soon. Talk a little bit more about the pricing of these and where you can find them and where they're available at. But for now, enjoy that information, HPHT versus CVD.
So, as you can see, there are differences between both CVD and HPHT diamonds. Some companies have the reasons why they like one over the other. For me, I think it all comes down to knowing where to get them from. I have been in the business 21 years, so me personally, I have some connections that sell both. My preference is to sell a CVD stone, but it's getting so hard to find CVD diamonds that are not treated with HPHT to make the color better. And so, again, for me, it's about what's most beautiful. You have less problems with CVD diamonds in the sense that some of the inclusions are not magnetic. So you would know that right away that it is not a natural diamond. I guess the goal is to be as natural as possible. So I think CVD does have a slight edge in that department. But I would say that if you can find and trust the right person, here at Joseph Nelson Jewelry, we're always going to give you the best service. We're always going to try to find the best diamond for sale. No matter how it's grown, we're looking to find the most beautiful stone that's 100% as close to or identical to a diamond as possible, and the most beautiful stone for whatever amount of money you're willing to pay. So keep those things in mind, but deal in facts. Don't deal in what people say or what their opinion is. Like, if you have a question and they don't know the answer, I would recommend go to GIA's website and find the answer. So once again, Mark Crawford from Joseph Nelson Jewelry, and I will see you for our next video.